Why people escape into fiction instead of fixing their real life. Real life doesn't always hurt loudly. Sometimes it hurts quietly through stress, loneliness, responsibilities, broken relationships, pressure, expectations, and that feeling of waking up every day knowing that you have to carry the same weight again. And when it gets too heavy, humans do what they have always done. They escape. Not because they are weak, but because they are tired. So we disappear into world of fiction, where things sometimes make more sense than the reality. Today we aren't here to laugh at escapism or shame it. Today we are here to understand why people escape into fiction instead of fixing their life. Why fiction feels safer. Why our heart choose fantasy over reality. And why that doesn't always make us broken. I am Sage and you are watching SagePlus. People don't run away from life because they hate reality. They run because reality becomes too loud sometimes. Real life brings pressure to succeed, expectations from family, fear of failure, social anxiety, emotional wounds, loneliness, heartbreak, and moments where you feel like that you don't even matter. The world outside can feel harsh, uncaring, and constantly demanding something from you. But fiction feels different. Fiction feels safer. Stories let us feel emotions we don't know how to explain. Anime gives hope when days feel grey. Games give control when life feels uncontrollable. Books allow us to live life that feels meaningful when art doesn't feel worth it. We don't escape reality. We escape the emotional weight of it. Just for a while. Just enough to breathe again and say, I can do it. Fiction doesn't feel better because it's fake. It feels better because it gives us things real life rarely even offers. In fiction, pain has a meaning. Characters suffer for a reason. Their struggle leads somewhere. In real life, pain often just exists. In games, we have control. We can make choices. We can restart. In reality, sometimes you don't even get to speak yourself. In stories, we belong somewhere. Characters stay. They don't ghost you. They don't betray you without purpose. They don't disappear suddenly. And most importantly, fiction gives closure. Stories end. Problems resolve. Hearts heal. Real life doesn't always give that luxury. Sometimes people live without explanation. Wounds never heal. Situations don't fix, they just stay. So, of course, fiction feels comforting. It isn't fake comfort of reality, it's organized hope to keep going. Even the characters we love in fiction escape reality. In horror, people run into artificial love because it feels safer than real human connection, which is becoming reality nowadays. In anime, characters often find emotional warmth that reality never gives them. In games like The Last of Us and Life is Strange, our emotions are not just watched. We live in them. We don't just observe these worlds, we live in them for a moment. And sometimes these fictional worlds feel more like home than the real world does. While the real world feels like a forest full of monsters, fiction feels like a shelter to be safe for a while. Escapism isn't stupidity, it's protection. Our brain likes predictable spaces, safe emotional environments, place where things make sense. Fiction gives you that stability. You know the characters, you know the world, you know the emotional rules. And that's why people rewatch their favorite shows, replay old games, reread old books, and keep returning to familiar fictional worlds. Comfort character exists because they feel like friends who don't leave. They don't judge you, they don't get bored of you. They don't change all of a sudden. They are safe. Escapism isn't running away. Sometimes it's just resting somewhere to feel good. People love to say fix your life, touch grass, grow up, face reality like it's super simple. But nobody talks about how hard fixing life actually is. Fixing life is slow, it is painful, it is uncertain, sometimes even embarrassing, most of the time scary. Real life does not always reward effort. You can try your best and still fail. You can care deeply and still get hurt. You can give everything and still be left with nothing. Fiction, however, does the opposite. It rewards effort. It gives achievements, progress, emotional payoffs, meaning, and narrative. In fictional worlds, when you fight, something changes. When you care, it matters. When you try, the story acknowledges it. And that's why people choose fiction. Not because they're coward, but because it feels like being alive instead of just surviving. When does escapism become dangerous? Well, escapism itself isn't toxic, but losing yourself in it forever can be. It becomes dangerous when you stop trying in real life, when you begin to hate reality, when you avoid every responsibility, when you only feel alive inside fiction, when your identity disappears and only fantasy remains. Fiction is meant to be a shelter, not a permanent address. It should feel like a warm blanket in a cold night, not a prison you lock yourself in. If you escape into fiction, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means you have been hurt. It means you need comfort. It means real life wasn't giving something your heart desperately needed. And that's okay, but don't forget something important. Real memories happen here. Real laughter, real friendship, real love, real adventures, real healing, real living. Fiction can guide you, inspire you, comfort you, show you parts of your heart. But life is where you actually exist. You deserve to build a real life that feels worth staying in, not just a fantasy that feels worth escaping into. So the answer is no. People don't escape into fiction because they hate reality. They escape because they are humans. They escape because sometimes the world outside hurts more than the world inside a story. But if you can, slowly build a life that doesn't always need escaping from. You deserve peace. You deserve connection. You deserve meanings, not just in stories, but here, in the real life you wake up to every day. Who knows, your life becomes good enough to escape into for others. We'll meet again in another video with another topic. Till then, keep watching, keep thinking. Sage out.